Welcome to Getting Back Up, where grief meets growth.
Two men, two fathers, and one shared journey of rebuilding.
We're talking about life after cancer, love, loss, and everything no one tells you. I'm David McClain.
And I'm Jamal Jones.
And we welcome you to Getting Back Up, Finding Life After Death podcast.
This is going to be a good one. I got a question for you.
All right, shoot, go ahead.
If Nalani met you today,
yeah,
what would she be most surprised about?
I think we should get into it today.
Yeah,
and that's what we want.
I figured I have a good one.
Yeah, I think we should spend the time getting into today. We just want to really explore this a little bit further. So today we're talking about grief and how it has shaped us into the person and people we are today.
Yeah, we're not talking about like what we lost, or we're talking about who we've become.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's a whole different element of grief. Grief is so much about, people think about it in the context of like, oh, it's this backwards looking thing, but it forms you.
Yeah, I mean, it's our intention to help widowers recognize that growth after loss, it's not betrayal.
Yeah, and we've touched on this before.
Yeah.
In previous episodes, I know we've, sometimes we these themes come back, but sometimes it is the greatest way, the best way that we have to actually honor the past, honor the previous people in our lives, but also honor the work that we're doing, right? And how, our ability to move through this process.
Yeah, and do the best that we can to honor those people as well.
Yeah.
So let me get back to your question about what would surprise Nalani, or what she would see or think is this moving forward as it looks for me. I think for sure, Jamal, it's what you and I are doing with the Get Back Up platform. So not only the podcast, but then also the Widower Reset that we have coming up, September 25th to the 27th.
Yeah.
Bringing other men either in the start of this grief and loss journey, middle, or they are so far down the road that they've forgotten that they haven't really addressed what's going on because they had to work, they had to make sure the career was set up, their children are all set. Maybe they have neglected or taken care of their health. But I think it's this challenge I think Nalani would see is we have moved forward, and that I've embraced the community, the play aunties, the play uncles, the family as well. I think also trying to bring her family into the moving forward as much as they can.
Yeah.
Now, each family has their challenges of, especially after that glue,
right?
And Nalani definitely was that. The connector, the cartilage as well, the tendon. She was everything.
Yeah.
For the family to see how, as best we can, connect and interact. And I think at the center of it is really the legacy of the grandkids.
Yeah.
Is that making sure that I'm sending out the communications, they're able to see the grandkids. I think and we may talk a little bit about this going forward, Nalani's mom just passed.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to dig into that because we both experienced that within the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think Nalani would appreciate that we featured her mother, Miss Martha Thomas, as much as we could in the family collective. And also that universe, because my friends are family, just like you are my family.
Yeah.
It into all that we've done, a certain vacation place that we go to a lot, making sure that she had that experience.
Yes.
And that she was featured there.
Right.
And so Nalani's girlfriends, my friends,
yeah,
we're all there to honor, to a great extent, Nalani's presence that brings us all together.
Right.
And also to celebrate Miss Martha Thomas, who was able to come out. She was still able to get around and enjoy that celebration of that togetherness, having her there. She was ready to move
Yeah.
to this place. She loved it so much.
Yeah.
That's so I think Nalani would be incredibly proud that in however way it was going to work, it did. Yeah. And I think also just embracing this idea of being a single father.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's not a script for this, as we've talked about in previous episodes.
There's not a script when you're not single. Right. That's true. You're not when you're not a single father, there's not a script.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. I think that, and to take information in, because you and I talk about this a lot. Sometimes you just have to make decisions. You got to keep it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And to weigh what information is coming to me and not dismiss it out of hand because I don't have time for it or whatever.
Right.
It's
Right.
wait, maybe that person has something. They've been a friend for decades. Maybe they have something to
some
offer.
perspective.
Yeah. Right.
But
something
then,
I'm missing.
Yeah. But then you got to take all those ingredients and add your gut decision.
That's right.
Right. Your gut, and go with the right thing. But I think I think a lot of times, right, when you think about what they're looking at, what they would see in you today.
Yeah.
Right. I think it is that evolution, right? It is the comfort. Sometimes it's the concern. You think about like what these women or what people are thinking about when they know their moment is coming, or as they may have thought about it even before if they didn't think their time was coming.
Yeah.
Right. Like the worry that they have is sometimes, is he going to be able to do it by himself?
Right.
Or is he going to be okay? Or, these other things. So yeah, I think that plays a lot into it. So.
And I think the choreography or just the traffic too of including those women and men that Nalani on her deathbed said to them, take care of my girls.
Yeah.
And to bring them in a way that is meaningful and you can see what result it has for the girls, that they say that they are happy.
Yeah.
That my oldest said that she was happy. That's big.
That's strong.
Yeah. So I think Nalani would be proud more so than surprised because I have good home training. Some of it she is responsible for.
Yeah.
And so I think that is it. I think also just the way this is evolving again to what all the people we hear from at Getting Back Up, our friends who call us, the comments that come into us, dudes come into professionals.
Yeah.
When I say dudes, I mean professionals come into our homes and helping us with HVAC or whatever it is.
Right. I think that's a big one.
And that they come up here and they see what we do, and because they ask and we're having conversations, I talk maybe too much sometimes. Yeah. And then they ask us what we do, and then the other day, as I told you, young man said, "Oh man, I just lost my mom last year, and I haven't figured out how to deal with that." And then we sat and talked about it.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, yeah, man, I was just turned to drinking and just sitting home watching documentaries by myself and didn't let people get close.
And I think that's the important part too, when you think about like what they may see in us is this new element of empathy. Right. It might not have been there before. Not to say you wouldn't have stopped and cared about this brother and given him the space to talk, but would you have been able to tune into it the way you can now?
We didn't have the life experience.
We didn't have the life experience. We'd have probably been like, oh man, that's messed up. Right. Yeah. And we'd have listened, but it would have been a different conversation. It would have been a different dialogue. And for us, it wouldn't be the same contribution.
Right.
And I think to that point, I think for me, it's also like getting back up. I think that's an important one, is I think about what Janice would look at and say, like, I'm proud of, or I'm happy that you're doing this. There's the element of closeness that we have in these dialogues. There's the element of closeness that we create in these dialogues. And I think a lot of times I always think about it, and that, like the things that, I would hear women talk about with their girls. Like, brothers don't generally talk about that stuff. Right? We generally don't talk about the same type of things. It's not to say it's superficial conversations, because I feel like we can have these conversations about life and struggle and relationships, but there's a layer that we generally don't get past.
That's right.
That women do. And I think
easily
as easily. And I think now this has allowed us to.
Yeah.
Right. It's allowed us to kind of open up that can, right, a little bit more, and not can of beer, but but like it's allowed us to open up that can of information, those cans of emotions, and I think there's a certain vulnerability that I know, you know, if she was, watching and listening, she'd be like, You're talking about that now? Like, you're willing to open that up?"
Right.
I think there's the vulnerability piece that I think about for sure. The single parent dynamic.
Yeah.
She was a single parent for a period of time after her divorce, so there's an element of you don't get it that we used to talk about. I was a step parent and she was the primary parent.
Right.
So there was an element for her of you don't get it. You don't get what I'm dealing with. You don't get what I'm dealing with.
These are my
children.
You don't have
my
children
stress.
yet.
Right. Or this is my stress. Or this is my perspective. And I saw it as the stepdad or the coming into a situation. Now I'm remarried and I'm sure she's like now you get it. Right. Like now you get what I was talking about. Now you understand how hard it is. Now you have how you like these elements that and I'm sure you're dealing with it too as you're dating and you're like, how much do I release or allow this person to influence what's already here with the dynamic with your girls? Like there's protectiveness, and we talked about that before too, but like those are things that you have in relationships that can create so much friction sometimes around how do you manage that. I think that for me is one thing that I think she would be proud of the work. It's not perfect. It's always a progressive process.
Right.
But like, at least she'd be probably looking at like, well, okay, well, you're working at this. You understand now, and take these lessons.
And then also, do you think, because you are probably communicating more with your now wife.
With Jordan.
Right. Yeah. So that, which do you think she would remark upon that?
I think so. I mean, Jordan might say no. Well, I think Janice might be like, he's so much better than he was. Right. That's just like Tale of Two Cities. Yeah. Right. But I feel like I can say more and I can be more expressive and I can kind of peel back the onion a little bit more. Whereas, something used to take me, a week to process now takes me, half the time or 24 hours, or I can feel it immediately. Now, oh yeah, this is what that is. And that doesn't feel comfortable. And let's talk about it. Whereas before it'd be like, oh man, I don't know what that emotion was. And I'm going to sit on this for a week and you have no idea why I'm walking around pouting. Right.
Or when it came up, as you mentioned before, you just left.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know. I got to go. Right. So I think those are different things. Patience. I've always been a patient person, but I think you have thresholds, and I think that was something that we always talked about, that I recall being able to tune into, like being patient and with our struggles, being patient with our experiences and individuals, being able to look at somebody and say, wow, like I know this person has been through this in their life and this is how it presents itself every day. There's patience in even taking the time to say, I'm not going to react in this moment or I'm going to comfort in this moment because this is what this person's need. Like, I think there's patience that I probably didn't have, 10 years ago. And part of it could be age and me just becoming, more seasoned and wiser and knowing which battles to pick versus which ones not to.
Not the hill to
But I also do think some of it is like being able to tune into like this loss has forced me and allowed me to step back and really think about what people are going through.
Yeah.
Right. And individually in my life and understanding like, okay, be patient in this moment with them, with yourself. Right. And processing what's going on. So.
And your now wife, she brings her challenges.
Right.
And we all have.
Yeah. We all have experiences and baggage and lessons and a life before that presents itself sometimes every day, sometimes periodically.
And recognizing that, and then this more of the selflessness than selfishness that we have to kind of incorporate if we're trying to stay together with folk. Because sometimes that's what breaks people up, is that not being able to balance between the selfish and the selflessness. So
Yeah. So I think you touched. I think that's a good one. I think that piece, that ability to tune in more to others, to kind of pause and not react so quickly sometimes. I think those are some of the things. And then I think, the ability to navigate the different dynamics with the kids, right? Like I've got, the two that we had together, and then my stepson that, her Janice's son, so he's now in his 30s, and now he and I are navigating and continuing to manage and build and grow our relationship. We have two other kids that are 21 and 16 that are evolving, and they've got their own dynamics, and I've got to manage dynamics with each of them to help them the best way that I can. To your point, so we can raise independent children, right? Who and allow them to make mistakes. That's just a point in their lives, right? They're no longer the 5-year-old toddlers. I have the 5-year-old too, right, with Jordan,
which will do something differently now too.
But the older kids are no longer, when Simona, my 5-year-old, when she falls and trips and falls, you like casually walk over, like, are you okay? All right, hey, blood, you're okay. You pick her up and help her dust off. And when you do that for a 16-year-old and a 21-year-old and a 33, it's different. It's a different support, and I think that part, I think she'd be proud of that.
And what we're talking about is not becoming somebody different. This is not what this conversation is about.
Not at all.
It's about
it's about it's like becoming somebody deeper. Right. It's you can, like, you're getting to a different level of who you were before.
Right.
Not necessarily growing. You're more evolving. And you're evolving. You talk about change, but this is more of an evolution of who you are. So.
And it definitely shows up in the places that we've already mentioned just previously now. But then also prior conversations, because what we talk about here and what every one of us we're dealing with, it's always these little incremental steps to this changing and evolving.
Right.
Changing in a metamorphosis of being somebody who is more apt to deal with the challenges, because boy, have we dealt with some before.
Oh yeah.
As it relates to death, or even survival of an illness. And those are the people that we also speak to. So it's gonna show up in that sense where we're gonna talk about this a lot. We're gonna underscore so much of what we've already talked about, because these are the tenets to moving forward. Yes, there's going to be new information that's going to be put through, but are you practicing? As we said, the routine brings this sense of familiarity. And then also we can assess, okay, this is working or not. Let me make these adjustments. Adding a bunch of new is not going to make it better. So that's, I think, also why we talk about where it shows up.
And I think, we touched on parenting. We touched on, friendships. You touched on the village and how you tap into that. Leadership, right? Where you take the lead, and where you may have defaulted to, your late wife in the past, or defaulted to other people. And now you're more willing to step up. I know I'm more willing to say things and voice my pains and perspectives, and make people okay with, people being uncomfortable for the moment, but letting them know, like, hey, I'm doing this because it's going to make you better, because I love you, or maybe I just don't want you to try to think that you could walk over me at this moment. Like, being okay saying that, I think those are things, faith, right? I think some of us have a different relationship with our faith.
Really been challenged.
And when you go through something like this, it's hard to maintain that for yourself, for the kids. Right. Like, I think those are pieces that that it shows up. Any others that you could think about?
I think it's also redefining what your purpose is as well. And the core of it is, we move forward. We can't live in the grave, as we said a bunch of times. And then particularly because we have people in our homes and outside to whom we're responsible.
Right.
So the purpose of this moving forward, okay, then especially with some of what we're doing with this platform, that purpose of, hey, we've learned so much just through going through it, talking about it
Yeah.
and people
Share.
coming to us,
Yeah.
that's our purpose, is to continue forward and help others kind of get through this and know, it's going to hurt, but you're going to get through it ultimately for yourself and for the people involved in your life or to whom you're responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think passion, your purpose, you know, having compassion, right? We talked about earlier, being able to tune into the gentleman you were talking to whose mother passed away, and like those things, like, you know, that sometimes it comes natural for people, and sometimes you can be distracted by 100 different things. It'll just let that moment pass and be like, oh man, that's sad.
Yeah.
And you keep going. But now being able to, you know, lean on that. So, you know, I think some of the things that surprised me in particular is in this process was how empathetic I became. Like, I think you touched on it with the story about the person, you know, the man who you met and his mother passed away and he's still struggling with it and he's dealing with it. I think there's times where I hear about people's experiences, or somebody will tell me, oh, I met this person and they're going through this. And I'm like, I want to talk to them. I want to see how they're okay, how they're doing. I may not even know them, but there's a part of me that I feel like I've become so much more empathetic. I will hear a story and somebody will tell me about this person, man, like I'm holding back tears and I don't even know them, but I'm like, I feel for them. That wasn't me 10 years ago. 10 years ago, if, you know, somebody was going through something like that, like, I'm like, man, that's really sad. Are they okay?
You had no reference.
I had no reference. And that's not to say that you didn't have loss. We all had loss through our lives, but when it's this close and it's this deep, that pain, that pain of that moment presents itself, and you're like, I know what that feels like.
You listen deeply. And out of concern, not just in that moment and then that's it. It's, hey, I think I might have something for you. Just something to consider. This is what I've seen. Maybe it could work for you. I think you listen more deeply and with concern.
Another one for me is, and I have a phrase that I tell my kids. It's, you talk about like, I don't stress the small things. I usually didn't before. Like, you know, I used to say to people, it ain't that serious. That would drive Janice crazy. Or she would complain to me about something, the voice, it ain't that serious. And now it's not. But I also tell my kids, do not hold a grudge. And if you're going to love the person tomorrow, forgive them today. Because one, you never know when somebody's gone, but why hold on to that? Why let that thing linger? Right. And it's easier said than done. Right. But it's just like, there's a part of it where it's like, at some point, like, move past it, move past the thing and get to the hug and the love and the conversation to move forward. Because the more you sit there, you hold on to it, and it just, you know, it just builds up. Like, healing doesn't take place when it's still. It takes place in movement.
It's active.
It's active.
I love that. You said, forgive the person if you're going to love that person.
If you're going to love them tomorrow, forgive them today.
I like that.
I
like that. And I think it's the thing that kind of surprised me about the men we've become is just accepting and embracing those ordinary days, man. Just because a lot of it was, okay, put out this fire. All of these responsibilities are heaped upon us. Sometimes it's just regular old days, and they're okay. It's okay. That's what.
It was okay. Like, I know. I mean, for me, I used to, and sometimes we all deal with this little. I got to be busy. I got to be doing something. I have to achieve something today. Sometimes it's just a day. Sometimes there's nothing but the day. Right? You enjoy it. You take the moment. You live with it. And that's it. Right.
Because it's gonna be another one.
It's gonna be another
day,
tomorrow,
and it's gonna be no different.
And it might
really or whatever,
or it might be harder. It might be more stuff to do.
That's right.
I think I would say that surprised me. I've become in some ways more patient, but in some ways less tolerant.
Okay.
Right. So I'm more patient with people and more patient with things, standing on the long line, it's not moving, sitting in traffic. I'm not sitting here getting angry, honking, like the road rage doesn't kick in like it used to 10 years ago, 15 years ago. One, it's like the idea of like, what am I rushing to? What am I rushing for? But I'm less tolerant for like bullshit, right? I'm less tolerant of the nonsense, things that truly like bother me. And I think that's actually surprising. Maybe it's like the things that spill over. It's just like, I don't deal well now with like, just people selfishness. Like I'm not tolerant of selfishness.
Yes.
Right. And those are things that like I tell my kids, if I talk to them, if I see something they're doing, I'm like, come on now, you gonna leave that dish in the sink? Like I have like almost no patience for it now. Whereas before I'd be like, oh, I'll do it. I'll put it in the dishwasher. Right. So it's just little things like that. But yeah.
But also in that instance, it's more about raising this independent child.
It's true. Yeah.
And it's that I want to see that progression for you because I love you and I want you to get out there and be able to self-assess things like, oh shoot, this needs help, or I need to do that. I should have a tidy place because I have a roommate now.
Right.
Our daughters, if they have roommates and get married.
Yeah.
Because we don't want folks thinking they're dusty.
Yeah.
They
Exactly.
And don't have good home training.
Right.
Towards this independence that we've been working on so long. So I think that's definitely it.
Yeah.
What you're saying about the tolerance,
patience, and tolerance. Yeah, they're different.
Yeah. We had kind of already talked about this. What's surprised about finding this new purpose that you had time to go do it.
Yes.
Now.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's what surprises. Oh wait, now I can. Oh right. Let me work on whatever this.
Exactly. And I think that that touches into like being more intentional.
Yeah. I
right.
agree.
Like finding the purpose. Now I can go do it, and being intentional with, what you're doing and how you do things.
Yeah. Where I struggled, I think, often could be it's an ongoing kind of process, and self-learning is just accepting change, because the accepting change, which will always happen, maybe is a bit of the past you forget or don't incorporate into your present life.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of a struggle.
Well, change is difficult, and as a part of that change, that is also accepting that she's becoming your late wife is moving further from your normal day.
Yeah.
Right. So change, I think, is this element of the more you accept the change, the more you accept that she's no longer part of your life in the same way.
Right.
And I think that's where the resistance comes from, because you're trying to hold on in a way to the routines, to the trends, to the things that you did, the ways you guys cohabited and co-parented.
Yeah.
Like parenting has changed.
Right.
The underlying theme, the underlying goal is the same.
Yeah.
The underlying lessons that you wanted to share and teach, they're the same.
Right.
But you're a single dad. Right. And in my case, I'm parenting with a different person.
Right.
Things change. Right. And I think that's where.
And then also the language that we use as single parents, and then also with your now wife, is the intent and perceived message, is anything getting lost here? I mean, this is what I'm trying to do with my daughters.
Yeah.
Would my late wife have been able to say it better than I, or some way that she is surrounding them in a way that I don't, or have a certain emotional capacity to? And you start to think about that, and that's maybe where you struggle too. But then sometimes, especially now, you ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
You care, and you do the best you can, and you check and see and look for feedback, and you have to keep moving forward.
Yeah. I think another one is like letting go of who you used to be. You and I talked about this a little bit earlier. In our, before we started recording, we were talking about like the things you find joy in, and the things you're able to be now, right? In how you act, how you interact with people. Like you're evolving, you're letting go of who you used to be. You were talking a little bit about like, because I think we both Nalani and Janice were shy in their own ways.
Right.
So in different settings, we had to adjust and adapt to accommodate them, right? To accommodate and support that and in a way it forced us to be, okay, I'm gonna be a little bit more reserved, or I'm gonna, you know, I wanna hang out longer, but I'm not, maybe, right? So I think these are things now we're like, well, wait, I don't have to leave right away, or I can have this I can do this thing. I can crack. Like, those are things that I think when you think about letting go of who you used to be, but again, accepting the evolution of who you're becoming.
Yeah.
Accepting that, oh wow, there's some other things that are part of me that really didn't get to come out before.
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
And you can struggle with that. It's this allowing yourself to grow, essentially, because it may lead to some other opportunities that where you in the relationship that you were in didn't allow you to bring that in, and oh, I wonder if that's going to work for me or my children or whatever it is. So I think you're absolutely right about that.
There's two that I want to combine. I think the other one was like, one is like we always talk about, like this idea around being happy. Like there's this thing we struggle with around, like, wait, I felt happy today, or I didn't feel sad today, right? I think there's this combination of like being happy and being stronger, and I think they're one and the same. Because I think you have to feel and be okay. Stronger doesn't mean you're letting go of the past, and being happy doesn't mean you've moved beyond the past. It means that you're being a stronger person now to understand and accept the things that will bring joy to your life in the future. And I think there's strength in it. I think there's those two things exist collectively, and I think that, you know, as I think about like where I struggled was in those moments, acknowledging and embracing joy, right? And acknowledging that me accepting this joy, accepting these things, these new experiences, this time where I can laugh and actually feel free and not weighted by the loss, like, it takes strength. And that was like hard to like acknowledge those two things at the same time for me a lot of times.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know,
I think the kind of the other thing that you and I have kind of talked about in different ways is the fact that good can come from tragedy.
Yeah.
I still really struggle with that.
Yeah.
Do you have any sense of that? Or
Absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, people ask, you know, there's times that I think about it, or I'll have a conversation with somebody, like, you know, the best thing I got out of this situation, like this, it seems so like, you know, it seems like a bizarro world to even say that.
Yeah.
The best thing I got out of losing my late wife, like the best thing, like, is
the two shouldn't appear in the same
sentence exist, right? Like,
then it's somehow.
Yeah, like, well, but there is something that I got out of this. Yeah, and there is a lesson in all of this, and there is an experience. I am a stronger person. The kids are stronger and more resilient. Like, we have preferred not to lose.
Correct.
My late wife, their mom. So for you, Milan, your late wife, you're the mother of your children. Absolutely.
Right.
But we are better people. We are, and part of it is because of the work we've done, right? We are people who are going through this, and you're still trying to figure it out. Like, there's still work to do, but I know I'm a better person. I feel like I'm a better person because of how I am today, because of the evolution that I've made, because of the work that I've done, because of how so is there good, you know, like, how can good come from tragedy? It can.
It's a great cost.
Yeah.
It's a great loss.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yet this more significant purpose extracted from loss.
Yeah.
So that there is good from the tragedy, because you realize just how precious the time you have with people. And now in our circumstances, we have others that are starting their lives and giving them sense of how precious life is.
Yeah.
And so that's going to come anyway from raising, if our late wives were around, whether we were co-parenting from afar or in the same house, depending on your situation.
But to touch on that before we move to the next piece, it's if we all, and some people have like a natural desire to help other people, right? Like, some people will pull over the side of the road because they see somebody with a flat tire.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that person. I worry about being, you know, shot on the side of the road as somebody's trying to get over me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the New York in me. I don't know. But if I see an old lady, I will. If it's a grown man with a flat tire, he's on his own. But I think there's a part of me that has always been like the desire to help other people, right? And interested to help other people. There's a part of this that allows me to achieve that with getting back up, but also people who have lost. And like I'm not to say I'm like the person on speed dial for people, but because my friends know my experience, there are times that, I know somebody who's gone through loss.
Right.
Can I give him your phone number? Yes.
Right.
Now, does it mean that I'm the loss expert of my crew or my friends? No. It just means that they have somebody who's going through an experience, and this is a person who can empathize deeply with what you're talking about. Like, to me, that's a good thing.
Yep.
Right. So,
got you.
The things that make it worse. I think that's the chapter in this is like, comparing your new self to your old self. Like looking back and trying to compare, well, this is what I used to do. I don't do this anymore. Or this is how I used to be. Like that makes it worse because it actually drags you back to the past.
That's right. Right.
And
we have discussed this before because we're bringing it forward again because it's so important.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, you stay in the same place, or as you said, you devolve, you move back, you step back in the process of this. Therefore, you're resisting change too.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to make it worse. Because if you're not moving forward, then, well, you certainly don't want change. You think it's going to be the same, and then it pales in comparison to what you had. So, yeah.
The living in survival mode. Like you got to, we overemphasize. You got to get up and fight this thing.
Yeah.
If you're in survival mode, you're just in the corner taking the punches. Right. Like, and not all of us are as dope as.
Hey, you can't rope a dope. You can't rope dope yourself out of this one.
This is you gotta move forward in this one. Right. Like that to me is something that's really important in this process. You can't just sit there and let it happen to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Because it's going to cause bodily damage, internal damage,
physical, mental,
all of it.
And then it's going to hurt everybody else in their life.
That's right. Yeah. And as we talk about what makes it worse, and we've kind of addressed this just kind of in this conversation too, is that fear of change that we mentioned. And then guilt.
Yeah.
Another byproduct of staying in place.
The guilt part is interesting because then I usually ask myself, this is something I used to ask myself when I felt guilt, was what was I actually guilty for? Or what was I actually guilty of?
Okay.
Right? Like, did I fight hard enough? Did I hold her hand long enough? Did I support? Did I take her to enough doctor's appointments?
Right.
Did we call enough doctors? Did we do all of these things you can sit there and feel like you should feel guilty for?
Yeah.
That stuff just weighs you down. Right? It doesn't do anything for your process. And at the end of the day, I always thought to myself, the thing that I had to come back to was, I did not give her cancer. Cancer killed her.
Right.
I didn't give her cancer. I fought the best way that we could, the best way that I could think of. And that was the thing that for me and for you, you've got to also think, like, what are you guilty of? Right? Yeah, we could all have done something better. Guess what? But that's your evolution. That's the evolution for the next challenge.
Yeah.
Right.
No question about that.
Yeah.
What helps?
I think you got to be open to opportunities and open to new things. Right? Like, the things that may be uncomfortable. Right? But just if you close yourself off to opportunities, I think you're going to, close yourself off to new joys.
Especially with this new identity of who you have become.
Yeah.
This is who you have become.
Yeah.
So it is embracing those new changes.
Yeah.
And as we talk about serving others that you just had mentioned, what we do with this platform.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not only
I've heard of so many people, and I know of so many people who found me. We decided our platform, but I know people who have started volunteering at centers for, children, homes for people in needy, volunteer do something, because they feel and found joy in helping other people,
serving the community.
Therapy.
Yeah.
So get your therapist.
We said it before, we're playing it again.
Get somebody on speed dial.
If it works for you.
If it works for you.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's important to do. If therapy, talk.
Yeah.
I say therapy or talk.
Yeah.
And talk openly. Or talk to somebody who's going to crack your ass open and let you talk. Right.
Exactly.
I always say, like, a person who, I have friends, you're one of them, who, if I'm having a bad day, I'll call you, and you don't just sit there and listen. You be like, so, about what you said, though.
That's right.
Right?
I'm listening intently.
Listen.
So this is what I heard, man.
Exactly. Yeah. How are you feeling about that? Like, I know that feels awkward, but you need that. Building something meaningful.
Yeah.
Find a purpose, but building something meaningful. I think one of the first things that I did was, with the kids, was like starting to build memories, right? Not so they could forget the past, but that they can, that there are more memories coming forward. And yes, how do you create a memory that, lets your late mom live in this moment? But that's building something, right? Those were the first things that I had thought very intently to myself around, like, I have to build memories for my kids.
And I think what you and I have noticed is people notice that we've done that. And we're not fishing for compliments or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they will not just say out of obligation, hey, you're doing a great job, but they see, especially our children are different. They see we as men in the situation we are, there's growth. We're malleable in the sense of allowing things in.
Right.
And the embracing change and we're adapting to that situation that we're now in.
Yeah.
So in becoming this new person that you are, that our late wives were, interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he has moved in this kind of direction.
Yeah. I think so much of we talked about what your identity is, but so much of our identity is around being a father first.
Sure.
This one it's like a double-edged sword. You have to be a father first, but you have to find a way to find happiness. So I think a lot of these things go into like finding purpose and like finding meaning and building something. Those are going to be the things that help you to find these little flashes of happiness so that you can be a great father. Right. I think those are important. And as I have always thought about it, I remember like having a conversation with my mother, and, simultaneously I'm going to my therapist, and we're having conversations around being happy. And, the discussion around, you got to make your babies happy. No, I got to make myself happy first. I got to find a way to like find flashes of joy so that I can be a great father and project those flashes of joy for my kids.
Yeah.
It feels like they're counter to each other, but they're not. Right. Your flashes of joy could actually be the moments that you build with your children. Like, so they're not, right. And I think that's important to do.
And also the growth, I should say, in seeking happiness, you can't stay in the same place as the man that you are. Right. Because sooner in our situation, our children will be gone. They'll have their lives.
Right.
What do we have then that
right.
we can hold on to or move forward with? So I think those two things can work in tandem, but don't sacrifice one for the other.
Right.
That I think is so critical about that. So you want to have a companion again. You miss the conversation, you miss the dinner, the funny comments.
And it doesn't have to be romantic.
No.
It could be just somebody, like I said, people need masculine and feminine energy in their life.
Yeah.
It's a balance, right? So if it's just, hey, you going out with a person who's a woman and they just bring this good feminine energy that you enjoy, absorb it.
Right. And in my situation, I'm a lot of other women's new best girlfriend.
Right.
Because of just I like to listen and we can talk and I can counsel in
Right.
these different situations.
Right.
But remember, as you all know at this point in episode 46, 47, wherever we are, I love my mother very much.
Mhm.
So we have a very close relationship. And so I am a beneficiary of that relationship
Mhm.
with women, meaning my mother, and then also certainly my late wife,
Yeah.
raising me to the point where I am, and my grandmother.
Right.
I
And
shall say.
you're a beneficiary of people who are okay talking and sharing their emotions
That's right.
and their feelings.
That's right.
Because, yeah, we can label it and say that men find it difficult, but there are women who find it difficult.
True.
Right? To talk about what they're really feeling.
Right.
Right. And I think, yeah, more generally, that's a stereotype that is probably more true in men. But the reality is, if you have people who you are open sharing and talking to and communicating with, then you're going to be wanting to have something with that, with somebody else.
Yeah. And I think that helps me to help other widowers, and you too.
Yeah.
Because you said that you have more of that patience.
Yeah. But it's also, I think back to when I was going through my experience.
Yep.
And I needed that so much.
Yeah.
And I didn't know exactly where to find it.
Right.
Right. Not to say, there's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of people talking about grief, a lot of people talking about how to deal with loss. There was something missing that I needed at that time. And it was something like this, like what we're trying to create.
Yeah.
But it was also somebody who had gone through what I'd gone through.
Right.
Right. And it's not to say they didn't exist. I couldn't find them, or nobody was saying, hey, Jamal, you need to go and talk to this person. He just went through this. So when I started going through it, and when I went through my experience, and people would say, oh, do you know that Joe is going through something? His wife is sick. Oh, yeah? Give Joe my number. Right. Oh, I'm going to reach out to him or whatever. And I think that was important to me because it was something that wasn't there, when I needed it. And then I think the last thing, man, just accepting growth as a part of the grief process. We actually talked about that. That was almost the name, right, of the podcast, from grief to growth.
Yeah.
Right. But we looked at it and, hey, what are we ultimately doing? We're getting back up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think those are the things that we figured help us through this process.
Oh yeah. I think you're right. And all this adding to this new sense of who you're becoming.
Yeah.
And if you don't recognize yourself anymore, maybe because the grief has been shaping you.
Yeah. And maybe that's okay. Right. But I think, what if grief is only taking something away?
What if it's so revealing what transformation that's going on that actually it's always been inside of you?
Yeah. I think some of the key things that we want to take away from this, that you should take away from this, is, you've got to look at how you've changed.
Yeah.
Right. And be really honest with yourself around, hey, this is a process and this is what I've been through.
Yeah.
Right.
And recognize those strengths that you now have. Again, it was inside of you and it's just brought to the surface. It's revealed.
Yeah. And don't apologize to anybody for your growth. So many of us, so many people are looking in at you. So many people are, in many cases, questioning your path and what they would have done, and everybody's different. And until somebody experiences this, you can only do what you believe is right for you and right for your family.
And then what you said earlier about build something meaningful here.
Yeah.
This is the opportunity you have in shaping who you have become, is building something meaningful. And I think the last kind of takeaway, the story I told earlier about help another man here. I told about the gentleman who came to my house, was talking about he was looking for answers at the bottom of a bottle.
Yeah.
He realized, paused, I can't do that anymore. So help another man.
Yeah. And if you take anything from this, don't just ask yourself, what have I lost?
Yeah. Ask, who am I becoming?
Yeah. Because, maybe that's what getting back up is about. Maybe that's what it's been about all along. So.
Yeah. Well, We appreciate you tuning in to us yet again, and continue to send the comments and just subscribe everywhere you can.
Like, thumbs up,
all of that.
5 stars.
Yeah.
All that.
And it's just continuing to expand. We talked about the widower resets coming together. So we want to do more of that and get that out for everybody and just bring different people for those who kind of need that focus time. So you'll hear more about that coming up.
Yeah. Share us, like us, thumbs up. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us on Getting Back Up, Finding Life After Death. If something in today's episode spoke to you, pass it on, because somebody out there needs to hear this.
For sure. We're on all the social mausoleums. So follow us on Instagram, Threads, TikTok. Mostly it will be in the form of Get Back Up Podcast.
And be sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast.
And remember, getting knocked down is part of life.
But getting back up is how we live.
We'll see y'all next time.